Check out FlipsideGaming.com for all your gaming needs. Use the promo code HEROES to save 10% on all orders over $10 and support the channel at the same time. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and today Wizards of the Coast has formally announced their support of this new Commander format they're rolling out called Brawl. They teased it yesterday, but today we got a full article explaining the details behind why they decided to support this format, as well as how to play. We're going to talk about the meat and potatoes here in this video, basically the rules of the format, but I will link the article in the description below. I would suggest that you read the full article so you get a whole idea of what they're trying to accomplish here. But with that being said, let's get into it. Alright, these are the rules bullet points that you'll find in that article. Now, if you heard the teaser yesterday, you at least have some idea of what we're getting at here, but let's just jump in. Each player's deck is exactly 60 cards. Other than basic lands, no card may appear in a deck more than once. Each card must be legal in the standard format. Cards banned in the standard format can't be played in the Brawl variant. So yes, if you didn't hear that teaser yesterday, this is a standard Commander format. When the cards rotate out of standard, they will no longer be legal, but anything that's legal in standard will be legal in this format. Another change from normal Commander, decks will be 60 cards. Before the game begins, each player designates one legendary creature or planeswalker card in their deck as their commander. This card begins the game in the command zone, and the other 59 cards are shuffled. So another significant change here, you can actually use a standard legal planeswalker as your commander in this format. The mana symbols that appear on your commander dictate what cards may be in your deck. Mana symbols that don't appear on your commander can't be in your deck. They give some examples, but nothing new there for commander players. Each player begins the game at 30 life rather than 20. If you're playing a multiplayer game, which we recommend for Brawl, each player draws 7 cards again on their first mulligan, and the player who plays first still draws a card on their first turn. So that last part is pretty typical for multiplayer games, nothing unusual there. And of course, they give us the starting life total being 30. However, something that jumped out at me here is that they are recommending multiplayer play for this format. Now, it's a casual format. I mean, you can do whatever you want, of course. But part of me thought maybe they would be encouraging 1v1 play with this and perhaps create an alternative for just regular standard. But it doesn't appear that that's really the direction they want to go with this as much as more of a casual multiplayer game. As long as your commander is in the command zone, you may cast it from there. Doing so costs an additional 2 mana for each time you have cast the card this way this game. So nothing new there for commander fans. If your commander is countered or leaves the battlefield, you may put it back into your command zone instead of putting it anywhere else it would go, so that's the same. Finally, the Brawl variant has no other rules for playing, winning, or losing the game. Have fun. So what you noticed is not there is commander damage, so that is not included in this particular variant. Now, if you read the full article, they did give some reasons why they support this format. The main reason being that they feel it could be a good entry-level format for new players. Now, I'm a new Magic player, I'm buying new cards, and I don't have anything yet to do with those cards. Maybe I don't have that standard deck built yet that's competitive enough, and I have a lot of extra cards from drafting and playing Seal that I don't have anything to do with. Well, I could play this format casually with my friends while I work towards building that standard deck or something like that. And who knows, maybe once these rotate out, I'm comfortable enough to start jumping into real Commander, maybe have the resources then to buy some older cards, and maybe that is a possibility to kind of bring me into that world. So, yeah, that's not a bad thing. I think anything that's going to encourage newer people to enter the game is good, so no issues there. I do think, though, there is kind of a disconnect if you read the full article. I don't feel as if they really sold me on playing this format. They kind of said, we've been playing it, it's a ton of fun, you should play it too, let us know how it goes. And I was kind of like, well, what's my incentive to play this, right? Now, if I have the cards laying around and my friends want to try it out, well, cool. And I mean, this is a casual format, so I'm sure there's people that were playing this before Wizards decided to write this article, and there'll be people that play this type of format after. There's going to be people that play other formats. I'll make up a format right now. I'm going to call it Modern Legal Commander or Moamder, and we're going to play that. So my point being, the silly way of making it, is it doesn't really matter what you say because it's a casual format. This isn't something that they're acknowledging any tournament support for or anything like that. So you can play it any way you want to play it. I'll play it any way I want to play it. So there's no incentive for me to play the format exactly the way they described in any way, shape, or form. Now, if they said there's going to be tournament support or something like that, and that's why I thought maybe they were going to go with a 1v1 type situation with this, then it would make sense. Now, LGSs could cling on to this, and they could maybe foster an environment around this game. It would behoove them because they probably would sell more cards like Beckett Brass, for example, that they probably are having a hard time selling right now. So there's some good that could come from a local store level for them. And again, if people enjoy playing this, then it can create a good play community too, and that's not a bad thing. But I do worry about one thing. If you're trying to make this game more accessible, let's say this catches on, a lot of people start playing it. Well, now there's going to be competition during a short window of time when cards come out till they rotate out, that there's going to be a lot of competition for cards from now 2 different play groups, your standard players as well as the Brawl players. And especially things like Planeswalkers could go up in price even higher, making the barrier to entry higher for both these formats, which is not going to be good for the game. So, I don't know. I'm kind of wondering about their end game here. I also speculated yesterday that maybe this would be a good thing for Magic Arena because we know they're not going to have the older cards in that format. So if you sit down and play Magic Arena, eventually if there's some kind of multiplayer element, that this would actually make sense there. And I would support that if they can make that happen. But that's not really what they're talking about, at least in this article. So, I don't know. It was a little bit odd. The other thing that kind of, I think, was a misfire with this announcement was how they tied it into Fire Song and Sunspeaker. Now, we talked about this card at length yesterday, but this is the Buy a Box promo. And for the first time, the only place you can get this card is from buying a box from your LGS and doing it early while supplies last. So it does make it extremely difficult to get this card if you don't have an LGS near you, or perhaps your LGS is selling boxes at a really high price. You can get them cheaper somewhere else, or maybe you can't afford to buy a box all at once. Then there's no way for you to get this card other than maybe trading or buying it as a single somewhere. And who knows what the price could be, because it could be kind of a limited item at that point. Now, when they designed this, of course they designed it not to be good in standard, because that would be a mess for them. But let's face it, Wizards has made mistakes before. If they continue doing stuff like this, eventually they make the mistake and you end up with the Tarmogoyf, right? They have made a lot of cards in the past that they didn't think were going to be all that powerful, and then they turned out to be game-breaking. So if they do that with one of these, that could be really bad news. By the time they right the ship and get the card reprinted, who knows how long it would take, right? So that's kind of scary in itself. But I do think it, again, doesn't promote that inclusivity that really their article talks about. I want to bring new people in to play this format. Oh, there's this really cool card, but the only way for you to get it is a very specific way that's going to cost you some money to do it. So that feels counterintuitive, right? So I don't know. That feels strange to me. And the card itself, in case you're wondering, I mean, there's been a lot of backlash over the last 24 hours about this announcement, and a lot of players have been communicating with Mark Rosewater directly. He's passing that communication out to the proper channels. So if you feel that way, that's my advice, the way I would do that. Someone who used to work for one of the largest companies in the world for over 20 years, I'm going to tell you, writing stuff on message boards on Facebook does absolutely nothing. The best thing you can do, there's 2 things you can do to influence a company. One is to write a intelligently worded, well thought out, level-headed letter to someone who can actually do something about it. That would be customer service. In this case, maybe Mark Rosewater as well for Wizards. Or secondly, you vote with your wallet. You don't buy the product at all, anywhere, anymore. And I know that can sound kind of hard to do when it comes to Magic, quitting it cold turkey. But honestly, if you don't like the direction of the company, I would say don't give them your money. That's the only way they're going to stop and think about decisions. Maybe this one if you don't agree with it, or the decision which cards to put into Masters 25, for example. But if you continue buying the products, and so many people are going to vent on social media, and then they're going to still go out and buy a booster box and get this card, guess what? Nothing's going to change if that happens. So if you really feel strongly about something, take the time that you would have spent leaving a message on MTG Salvation or on Facebook or whatever, and divert that time and energy to doing something that actually could make a difference. Now, does someone from Wizards probably read and peruse Reddit? Of course they do. In fact, they do say that that's one of their official communication sites. However, I'll tell you, if I went onto social media, say Reddit, and I read a whole bunch of complaints, and maybe the number one trending topic was something that we're doing that people don't like, and I took that to my boss and said, hey, I saw this on Reddit the other day, is going to end right there. Because, again, that only goes so far. It takes concrete, tangible evidence that people are going to change their buying habits before anyone is going to actually care when it comes to a corporation. So anyway, those are my thoughts. Video has probably already gone too long, so I'll wrap it up with that. But until next time, hey, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. Have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible by the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.